Well, any better dead, Renato thought. The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart, too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Something was missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Wasn't this near where Calaveras lived? The sage would help him figure it all out.
Once, he found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series. The Iblis Stone, silenced by the Skyripper's core, had given Renato enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Renato was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction. It would have to wait.
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. "Do you fix souls or only artifacts?" he asked the sage.
"Does your soul need fixing?"
asked the sage. "I've been killing a lot of ravens lately," he told the sage.
You're a fox,"
said Calaveras.
To kill birds is part of your nature. You should take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly?
It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child. There it was. The dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead. Wood and tar and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready. He was ready.
What he ready for? Let's see what he's ready for.
Renato had it all squared away in his head. He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret. But the victims had spoken to Renato. The ghosts had spoken. No anger. Renato could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want it to go. If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger. Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things. It would be cursing a blue streak. But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. He must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
Can I make it? I hope I can make it. I got a little life to live.
What else could you hook?
See how good I am. You don't make a claim to be the game master and not be able to get out of situations. Oh, combo, combo. More. Come on, give me 100, give me 100. There you go. Give it to me. Damn, only 70.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renado's head as it rolled around the deck and died. And just like that, he was alive again. And back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it. But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the path of destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game-changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lepino needed rescuing. Of course, Renado had a pretty strong suspicion that Lepino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renado really leave an old friend to the Ravens? Ah, Lepino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lepino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. Lepino's frantic message said that the Ravens were going to kill him for being a rebel spy. And that he had a clever plan. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Or so Lepino had told him over the Far Speaker anyway. Lepino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? A crafting bench. Renado wondered what he could make with it.
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable. The Ravens had taken the town. Renato had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding.
You gotta make sure that you check every corner. Might be a treasure chest somewhere around. Always follow the trails as you see the way. Boom. What did I find? Treasures. This is what game masters do. You gotta know how to look at the map. You know, another treasure chest. More goodies. This is what I do. I'm a scavenger. I'm going to go ahead and jump down here and see what's down there. Alright. Sometimes I think that I was born a robot with bio, the way my mind thinks, because these games just did not affect me. Trying to get that 100 combo again. This is what I do with the games. Keep them with the, you don't break them. Split them in half.
Ravens were landing everywhere.
And
The
I'm
advance
splitting them.
guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to
Okay, this is
interrogate
the
their
altar
prisoners.
where you can
Even top spies
do a little
like Lupino
upgrade.
were,
Let me see
unless
what I
he
want.
really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest.
We'll go with this one. No, this one. Shit, I don't know. We're gonna go with the combo. I will go with the grab. No, I'm gonna go with the storm cover. What's this one? Let's see. This one is storm recovery. Getting stronger.
Nice.
Go with this one
That could be
and
useful.
this one. Give me the juice. Alright, got the Chaos Sword, so I can go ahead and here this time get that treasure chest. It's a good storyline where you can go backwards, open up these doors that you couldn't open up before. Alright, read that. Goodies.
Reynardo had once invested in a jewel store, but it lost money because someone kept robbing it. Twist. It was hidden.
What happened? What the fuck happened? What did I do? What did I do? Good shit.
Reynardo was surprised that he didn't feel more pain. Just a bit dizzy. Ooh.
Hey, buddy.
Dirty and bloody, Reynardo finally reached Lapino.
I know you're gonna
Raditz
betray
was
me.
practicing his shuffle.
I seen the
Reynardo
future.
recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite.
Believe me,
deck.
I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna do to you.
Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a
This is a snake right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, for weasels.
He's a traitor.
I got a brilliant plan. Kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia. We find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper.
See, I'm gonna go a different route this time, because I'm gonna take the traitor along the route so I can bust him in his fucking skull.
To make the Sky Ripper, the Transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature around the eye of a god. Reynardo had already let that armature slip away to save Lapino's life. But even its core, the eye torn from a god, surely they could fashion a great weapon from that. The core of the Sky...
Wee, 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 wee.
It's beautiful here, thought Reynardo. Was nice to be back with his old war buddy. All right. Lapino was a traitor. But still, it was good company.
I just know what to do, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm like
Who made all these ore chests anyway?
goodies. Know where the goodies at, you know? Follow these paths. Follow the path, and you might find
Now that he
your
knew she
chest
still
like
loved him,
this, you know?
he wanted to go back to her. But that hadn't worked out, had it? Maybe it was time to find the core of the Sky Ripper. In this chest, there were woodcuts of amazingly beautiful vixens wearing no clothes at all. And something more useful. Could go that way, he thought.
I'm gonna go backwards. I saw a well over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this well right here.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, but few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones. No healthy ones. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought. Maybe Lapina was right. Maybe we should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
He really wasn't making a dent in those shields.
Had to punish him like that because he messed my combo up.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy.
Trophy after trophy
Tiny
after
worms
trophy.
nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy
Yum
to
yum
be
yum
so
yum yum.
close to the eye
Trophy
of God.
collector I
How
am.
could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it.
Tell you what, said Lapino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost.
The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renato. But what if this was a ruse so that Lapino could get the core into the hands of the Empire? Was Renato ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself. Lapino was a touchy rabbit. Renato knew that. You're brave, I know, Renato said. But this is what I was hired to do.
Oh, well, at least let me run ahead and warn them you're coming.
Renato wondered if Lupino was up to no good. Or if the rabbit warned the Empire instead. Oh, but Lupino wouldn't betray him like that. Not again. Before it'd been a fluke. Right? They finished the trip to the Nexus in silence. He would offer Lupino a chance to betray him, or not to. His old friend deserved another chance to prove true.
All right, Renato said. Go.
As Renato watched Lupino vanish on the horizon, he could feel nausea building in him. He felt ill. Could his knees really be aching this much? But how could he have handed the core off to Lupino? That was a recipe for disaster.
Renato wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
Trying to get that combo. I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna destroy every last one of them instantly. Let's go.
This chest had teaspoons stolen from every inn in Boreas. Oh, and something more useful.
Renato felt worse. All his joints were aching now. He'd been through beatings that felt better than this. So the core had a kind of poison that could harm you without even touching you. That's new. Well, it had power. The rebellion needed something with power. And how was this any worse than a sword wound? Well, a death by sword was sudden and fair. This was just squalid. A piecemeal death, like old age. I need more materials. thought Reynardo.
There was an inscription. Praised the sun. Take the goat across first, Reynardo thought. But it was too late.
Oh, it's getting harder, I can tell.
He thought.
It's getting harder. Come on. I have to wake up. Shit, these combos, man. I gotta get these combos in. This is what I do, get the combos. Take me to your leader. What the fuck happened? That motherfucker!
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists everywhere. Reynardo found the mad rabbit cowering under a desk. The ravens, they must have known we were coming, said Lupino. How did you... Well, see, I was doing a card trick with my lucky deck, and I kind of bobbled the cards, so I went under the desk to gather them up, and boom! I guess we'll have to take the car straight to the secret base.
Reynardo wasn't sure he believed that, but Lupino was talking so fast. It always seemed to make sense.
The secret rebel base. Yes. They had engineers there. But wait. Calaveras, the sage in the mountains. Maybe he would know what to do with the naked core. The core was killing him. He needed help. The sage, Calaveras, had given him the maps to find the armature and the core. If anyone knew the true name of the Transcendent Emperor, if anyone knew how to assemble the Sky Ripper, Calaveras did.
If anyone could heal Reynardo and render the core safe, at least to its bearer, surely it was he. The base of the mountain was the only safe place for a landing. He would have to continue on foot, muscles aching. Calaveras was a scholar, not a doctor. Could he really save Reynardo from the poison radiating from the lost god's eye he was so recklessly carrying? That was always a rush. Oh, this was not a fun way to die. Even if he survived. No one would write ballads about the fox whose knees ached forever, would they? Not unless he paid for it. He hated paying for publicity. What did you do if one of these platforms stalled?
About to whoop some ass now. Take me to your fucking leader now, you motherfucker.
Noise up ahead. Insects, birds, the croak and flutter of ravens arranging ambushes. But close by, there was only the breeze and the trickle of melting snow. As if every living thing was holding its breath, his poisonous burden to move
Truth was, Reynardo really liked the sound of a sword made in the air.
God damn it! I'm about to get that nigga up, dude. You do that. I spanked him good. I never take the obvious, I always take the other route. God damn
What's
it!
for dinner, he thought. I hope it's not broccoli. of doing that, thought Reynardo.
On the progress.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects. Running out for the rebellion. They might already be fighting the Imperial fleet. Everything hinged on Calaveras' ability to turn an exiled god's eye into something deadlier.
The core! Splendid!
Croaked Calaveras.
Where's the armature?
Right, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't need it.
No, I don't. It's just a professional interest. We've got much better prismatics than the old TE ever did.
So Calaveras was an arcane engineer. He fussed at the core all day. He wrapped it with silver chains, and in front of it, he placed a huge, round ruby, so that it looked like a monstrous, floating eye. Ah, so... what is it?
Yeah, I call it the Oculum. It's my very first death remedy.
And it won't poison me?
Oh, no, it's completely safe now.
Anything I should watch out for?
Yeah, try to avoid pointing at any mirrors.
As he loaded the Oculum onto the Farfarer, Bernardo was a little concerned about Calaveras. People who were utterly sure of themselves he had found were either experts or horribly wrong. Or both. But Reynardo only needed to fire the Oculum once. He only needed to destroy one ship. The Emperor's ship. And the war was over. Reynardo plunged into the Imperial fleet. He felt the Oculum humming. He no longer felt sick. This was going to be fun. Or at least, it was going to be over.
Pretty good game for free, you know. I always play the free stuff. Test it out for him.
Reynardo resisted the temptation to fire the Oculum until the time came. He could sense its arcane energies yearning to escape the sage's wrappings. But it wasn't eating him alive. So that was a plus. He felt good about himself. He'd saved a friend, he'd helped the rebels, he'd relied on himself, but he'd listened to others. He felt like the right sort of hero. Wise, yet decisive. Calaveras had been so sure it would work. Maybe he could fire it just a few times. No harm in that, right? It was time for a little exploration. once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Reynardo's arm was getting tired. The core was no longer eating at him, but he still felt weak. His stamina was shot.
But he had the oculum. When the Raven swarmed him, it would sometimes fire its death ray. It seemed to be warming up too, firing more and more often.
Maybe he should let it cool off. He decided to stop using it entirely.
Go, he thought.
We'll always have Paris, he thought. And then he died.
You have.
I'm done with this shit.